Hi guys, welcome back to another Agroforestry Academy video. I'm going to be showing you a little bit about the consortium that's worked out for us this time of year and how how plants can serve you double. In this case we've got some cherry tomatoes here, and as you can see I've not tied them up, like the Italian tomatoes on the left, and we've really used them to cover the soil. We had little matter at the time, and we really used it to double agent here to really cover the soil and really compete with the brachiata, and kind of tell the brachiata this is not for you anymore. We'll give it enough shade so that it's not comfortable, and then it can go away without any picking or any other poison and things like that. So we really had to fill it in with pork beans, feijão de porco we call it here, nitrogen fixing leguminous. So we've really filled it in everywhere on the corners and the edges. We've got the cassavas coming through. It will be a very quick harvest of the tomatoes as I've not lifted them and tied them up. I'm aware that I'm going to have a shorter life cycle of them, but let's keep in mind I've also had much more economy tying them up and pruning them. So most of the trouble for many vegetable producers is it's the money to pay for the work. So as you can see, it becomes to me as very cheap tomatoes. I've just planted them, they're working for me, and they're gonna bear fruit now. Let's have a quick look. They're looking, they're gonna come through really nicely. Obviously if had they been pruned, tomatoes everywhere, it's a little bit harder to harvest. You miss out on a lot of them, but then it kind of becomes like weed basically afterwards. It's just dropping seeds and you can never finish your tomatoes. So that's really great as well. So we've got the cassavas popping through. We've got some corns as well popping their head out. So we've really filled it up, really filled in all the gaps. And on this side here we're dealing with Italian tomatoes, and I like planting them as well on the floor, where just for the economy of tying it up and pruning it. But because we're going into the rain season, as you can see, it's rained for the first time 15 days ago, a couple of days, maybe last weekend or 10 days back or something like that. So I was really worried about the Italian tomatoes. They're a lot more fragile, and if they lie on the ground they've got the tendencies to rot. But so we've tied these up, okay, but in any case we've still filled the gaps in with the pork beans, and we've also got the mandioca, double lines of mandioca. We've got some coffees here. This is from last year, where we planted cassavas and tomatoes here as well, and we planted coffee by seed. It really suffered, the brachiata came back and it was just basically took some thick layers of brachiata, but they survived. They're very cheeky, very small, very suffering, but now they're back, and it's just planted by seeds as an experiment. And basically you're 1 year late with this, because if you take it to the greenhouse and you bought in the seedling, we would have made it already last year, where these babies had to wait till this year. But it's valid. I'm sure there's going to be good information on the root structure that's been left there. We've planted in high density, so we're going to be able to select the best ones. And we're glad to see that the coffees did survive. Let's have a look at our neighbor here. What's happening? Something very similar. So yeah, so we've got the cassavas coming through. We've got some cherry tomatoes tied up to compare. So we've really done a comparison here, where we're going to be able to go further down the line, see how much the cherry tomato produced once it's been tied up and how much it's produced laying down. So I'm definitely going to get back to you on that, where we've tied this one up. We've not tied it up there. All the Italian tomatoes, they're nicely tied, and as you can see here, the brachiata is trying to come. See where it's not, we've not played it like a bush. We're giving the brachiata a chance here, but it's okay. Everything's shot vertical up. So let us know if you've ever tried that, you know, planting tomatoes on the ground. A lot of people plant them tight, you know, where they can crawl up other service plants. Maybe, you know, when you get like a trio of corn and one tomato plant in the middle, they can kind of support itself on the corn. I love planting them when I plant bananas. I plant bananas and some tomatoes around the bananas. But yeah, so we've got a very good experiment here where we've got the Italian tomatoes tied up. We've got some of the cherry tomatoes not tied. And here they're tied. So we really got to see how much manpower this time round, because I like planting both ways. In the rain, I'd rather tie it up. But let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so let's hope we get a nice harvest there of our Italian tomatoes, even though it's rainy season. You know, everyone says it's not good to go at this time of year, but I believe I'm gonna have that gap in the market where I'm gonna be producing some Italian tomatoes in the off season. So we really love working with these pork beans. Again, nitrogen fixing, just really filling up the gaps. And it's amazing because, you know, all these nitrogen fixing plants, you planting them, they're working for you. But have you ever considered harvesting the beans and selling them? Because here, it's in reais, 16 reais a kilo of the pork beans. So I mean, it's doing really well, and you know, it's more expensive than the black beans that I sell, organic black beans. You know, so you know, because there's a real good market for that. Have you thought of that? There's a real good market for these nitrogen fixing plants, for their seeds, right? So I'm already going to make a market of this where I've planted it, and it's, you know, it's triple service now. It's nitrogen fixing, it's helping me fill in the gaps, you know, blocking up the weeds, and then I'm harvesting this as well, and it's got great market value, nitrogen fixing plants. So I'm really excited about, you know, putting it in the market, you know, where it's got like a sack and you sell it for 600 quid or something like that. Oh yeah, the little center's always been encouraged to propagate, you know, and they give so much seed, and really they're coming through everywhere. Really nice. So just a catch up here from our tomato system from the Agroforestry Academy crew. Look how nice it is after everything's rained. We've got some coconut trees here which really don't go well in our climate. Really don't go well in our climate. And there it is, poor baby. You know, I've tried it many other different times. Coconut just doesn't grow out here. It's the altitude, the cold and things like that. But you know, slowly but surely, I mean, I suppose now it's 2.5 meters and it's basically 3 years old. So it's had a little stretch. It's had a little stretch. We've got all the eucalyptus resprouting. We try and keep them up in the right strata. They're all nice in the right strata, but you know, very soon they're going to be due a prune. Just one rain and it all goes green. I'm bringing it down, all that material there. Got some lovely bananas coming through everywhere here. Might as well go for a little stroll. We love this area here. We've showed it so many times. With the ingas and the citrus and the coffees underneath and the ingar again, and then we've got the eucalyptus all nice and high up there. We've bought some real good eucalyptus trunks down to use for construction. So like we're 3 years into it. We've cut it several times. Look at that, we've actually cut it there, we've cut it before, you know, and now already we've got nice big trunk there, you know, for construction any day. And it's not the first cut. We've got all the guanangine, real noble wood, all looking really good, 3 years old. Yeah, we love this avocado tree, 3 years old by seed. No joke, we're talking about 7 meters high. And next year now we're looking for some fruit of this actually, and we're talking about going into the 4th year of the avocado. and harvesting fruit. But obviously to have this one avocado, look, there's another one here, another one there, another one there. So I've actually planted it every 2 meters, every meter and a half, to have the blessed ones, the ones that within 4 years are going to be bearing fruit. Look at that, this is all from the beans. We've harvested the black beans, and it's basically the skin. So all the organic material coming back. Look at that, all that lovely amount of organic material. It's really rich. Let's have a look at what's happening underneath this actually. This has not been here for so long. Yeah, the water hasn't even reached down there, it's not even humid. But if we look, you know, yeah, it's basically pretty dry because, you know, we're coming off the height of the drought. And the rain's dropped, but it's not really reached there yet, so it's just really taking the dust off the air. Our coffees are all flowering. Let's pop here, we'll get some flowering coffee. Yeah, so we've got all the flowering coffees. So that should be due a nice beautiful harvest. Green grass everywhere. It's looking amazing, yeah. All the flowers. We actually had an event here and we planted our own flowers and they keep on coming back. So yes, there's a nice sight there of the coffee. The first rain. It's already drying up the leafage, ready to produce the fruit. Yeah, lots of fruit on here. Macadamias. And all the papayas are coming back now. That hint of the rain, lots of papayas coming back. So here we're going to be cutting the grass. We've just come in with a clean cut grass. This system here, we've had the tomatoes in here. Now we've cut one of the layers of the grass. We're going to go to the other corridor, cut that. We've got this corridor, cut that. And we get all the papayas coming through by seed. All the papayas looking beautiful. They're starting the selection. And the little centers. So we've got the little centers coming through, where in future the passion fruit is gonna climb on that little centers. So these little centers are for the passion fruit. These little babies coming up here. Alright, so from the Jazz horses to Gennaro Jazz, from the Agroforestry Academy crew, it's a nice walk around. Keep in touch with us.